Oh my giddy aunt. Guy takes off the sunglasses of mild astonishment. Today we are looking at Spitfire Audio's relaunched Spitfire Symphonic Orchestra. What's astonishing about this is a completely professional set of sample libraries, which was best part of £4,000, and the relaunch price is £499. Boom! Falls off his chair with shock. I know, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. So we're going to be writing a piece of music, a short piece of music, which will build to a big orchestral climax. So I'm going to be talking about how you orchestrate relatively simple piece of music to build into that kind of big moment, okay? So that's the scoring part of this. By some wonderful coincidence, this also happens to be the day when we're relaunching, by popular demand, cinematic orchestration. It's the second course I ever created. It's been around for 20 years. It's been revised many, many, many times. And it teaches you everything you need to know about orchestral composition. It features some incredible musicians, top of the line British session players, some of whom actually, by a spooky coincidence, are the same players who played on Spitfire Symphonic Orchestra. So we're relaunching this. We retired it a few years ago because, you know, some of the videos are a bit 4x3 and I've got lots of hair and no beard, and it's, you know, but the content is really, really bang on. So we've relaunched it as a legacy edition at an astounding price. £79 is the introductory price. The normal price is going to be £119, and this is down from, well, back in the day it was like 600 quid or something. So here, prepare to be astonished. 2 pairs of glasses and a look, prepare to be astonished. So with the Spitfire Symphonic Orchestra and cinematic orchestration with their introductory prices, you can get both of those for under 500 quid. You know, anyway, let's get into this. What I thought I'd do first of all is I've got a beta version of this of the library here. I'm going to build a quick template, and then we're going to write some music. Okay, it's going to be a simple template, but good thing I've got a nice fresh cup of tea, and I'll race through this. Whew, that was hard work, but we now have a viable template. Now, what I've done, I could go the extra mile and colour these things, couldn't I? I suppose I could, yes. Let's just do that. Makes it easier to find your way around. I've just been loading one patch for each instrument. The reason for that is that within this new setup, there is a thing designed by Andrew Blaney, who knows a thing or two about this kind of thing, called the performance patch. And it's a lot more than just an improved legato, which it is as well. It actually goes further than that, so that you can actually, through the way you play, you can choose individual articulations. It refers me helpfully to the manual, which I haven't got yet. But look, let's get into this and have a little look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write a simple little piece of music which is going to reach a sort of great big orchestral climax, and at the same time we're going to be exploring this new little the library. The little template I put together is basically, I've just gone for one instrument per articulation, and then sometimes I've added some extra ones in. But the reason I've done that is because in this new version of the Symphonic Orchestra, Andrew Blaney, clever man that he is, has come up with a way of blending several articulations together so that you actually don't need as many different articulations to play. So, for example, so we got a held note, we got a legato note, we got staccato notes, all on the same, and using the where is it? The vibrato slider, Where's the vibrato sliding? I've mapped all these to different controllers. Ah, there we go, that one there, look. I've got a controller here, mapped, look, whoop, 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 up and down, all the rest of it. And you can see it's going up and down on that articulation there. Here we go, look. So let's do this again. So by assigning controllers to the default settings, which is, I can't remember which word it is for vibrato, but that one performance patch allows you to play lots of things at the same time without having to load up lots of different articulations or getting into expression maps and any of that. So that's why I haven't actually got, if you look at this template, anything like as many tracks. I've got 42 tracks, and that includes some of these ensemble patches at the end, and I've grouped them all together and things like that. Right, let's get into this. Let's write this little piece of music. So what I'm going to do, it's going to be a simple phrase which is going to transpose up. So it's going to go like this. Starting on C, then going to E minor. Okay, so C, then we transpose the motif up into E minor, then up to G major, and coming to rest in A major. So it's not properly modulating, it's passing through those chords, those keys on the way. That's all we're going to do. But we're going to leave it, give it lots of room, because I want some answering phrases in here. So let's just play the top line in. 2, 3. Hold it, give it room. Okay, and off. So there is the structure of what we're going to play. Now, how are we going to do this first one? I'm going to introduce high held strings. And I mean, look, am I rewriting the book? No, I'm just using some fairly obvious techniques to get you going. So we're going to start with something which is going to be small. And as we go through this piece, it's going to get bigger and broader, both in terms of volume, but also in terms of the sort of range of pitches we're using. So we're going to start with something fairly straightforward. So we could just go with a woodwind on this opening piece here. We could go. That's what I'm going to do. Actually, woodwinds blend very nicely together. Oboe and wood and flute blend same pitch. Let's listen to what that sounds like together. Yep, I'll go with that. Let's go down to the violins. Now, I've got the all-in-one patch, and I've also got the one with all the different articulations in. Look at all this. For those of you who are not familiar, look how many articulations we got going on there. So what do we want? What do we want? Are we going to go with a... I could go with an ordinary long. I could do flat hand. Everybody uses flat. Oh, that was concertino, actually. That sounded quite nice. Or are we going to go for trem? Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to go for a blend of longs and tremolando, I think. It's quite a good technique which you can use with real players. So you say half the section is tremolando and half the section is playing normally. Okay, now decorative articulations. Let's have a little look in here. I fished this one out earlier because I knew I was going to want this. But look, these are all the decorative articulations, including tremolando, tremolando sulpont, tremolando concertina, measured. When I say there's a lot of articulations in here, this is what I mean. Right, so this one, we play the same thing, but with tremolando, and you get sort of. Okay, now I want an answering phrase. And I was half thinking of starting with the cello and going boo doo doo doo, and then using the woodwind to do the answering phrase. But maybe we'll do it this way round. So let's put the answering phrase in now. So it's slight sforzando there. Okay. Now we go up. Now we hand the theme to a different instrument, lower. This one's going to be French horns. Let's have a little look at the French horns when we get them. Now, you get, this is, as you can see up there, it says A2. In other words, each note has got 2 horns playing. You have a choice of solo, A2 or A6, I think. Now, what I would recommend is when you're playing triads and chords and things like that, you want to stick to A2, because if you go for A6, you're going to end up with essentially 6 on each note, so you've got 18 horns, which is not realistic. And if you don't make it realistic, and then you get to the end and you think, oh, why doesn't my arrangement sound realistic? Because if you don't stick within the world in which a real orchestra inhabits, then you're going to come up with something which sounds a bit pants. Not pants, it's just, if you want it to sound real, you've got to stick to the restrictions which you would have were you playing with real players. Right, let's use the articulations. I'll go for a long. Oh, that's good. I'll come to him in a minute. Right, that's what we want. That nice top line. That's a good sound. Let's go to trombone arts. Bring them up. Let's see what we got. Longs, that'll do. What I really like is not all trombones have to be big and brassy. This gentle, really, really, really nice. It's got a kind of almost a woodwindy warmth to it. So let's. Okay, that's nice. Let's go in with the cello again. So the cello, okay. We're now going to go, so we put that on the bottom. That came in a bit loud. Let's go into it and have a look at the mod wheel, which is, yeah, okay. So we need to, although it crescendos with that passage, we want to bring it in quieter. So I'm going to go in and edit it. See what that sounds like. That's better. Okay. Now we're going to add the basses underneath that on a bottom E. Remember, we're in E minor on this chord. Ooh, hang on, what's going on there? Come on, basses. Ah! No wonder nothing came out, because I didn't somehow fail to load it properly. Right, let's load up the basses. Where are you, basses? Bassy, bassy, bassy. Here we go. Strings, basses, performance. Yeah, let's do performance, that'll do. Now, a bass, a normal 4-string bass goes down to the E, but you can have an extension which goes down to the bottom C, so you can, but this is an E, so that's fine. It can just be an open string though. It's a bit loud, take it down a bit. So it sits underneath the cello. Right, let's add a viola line in here. So what we've got going on the top is, I'm tempted to put in a little harmony line or an answering. So it's going E, D sharp, F sharp, G. So I could go. So it's sort of walking up in sixths. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh. No, no! Yep, that works. What about the violins here? What are we going to do with them? We're going to leave them out for the moment because we're going to fill in a certain amount of gaps as we go on. Now, this next bit, we want boof. So we're definitely going to bring in first violins. So they're going to go. Okay, now what we might well do, because we're feeling cheesy, is we're going to do this in octaves. So let's copy that down to the seconds and whack the firsts up by an octave. So let's see what it sounds like. Okay, so let's just go from the beginning, see what we've got. Right, we definitely need an answering phrase in there for the French horns. How about bringing in some, here we go. Do you know, that sounds like two clarinets. I prefer, yeah, clarinets are doué. I prefer, as I said, if I was doing this, I'd probably be using solo clarinet. So if you've got, let me see. I think it's going to sound better, so I'm going to go for the solo clarinet. Let's get the woodwinds up again. Clarinet solo performance, that's it. We'll have him. Thank you. Hello. Very nice too. Okay, so this is... Okay, so what I did there, rather than go the full answering phrase, I just went, so the French horn went, and then I just continued it on, like that. I think we can gradually start to broaden the palette of sounds. We're going to bring in the bassoon here. Remembering we got cello and basses doing that E, maybe we put the bassoon up there, an octave higher. Now, remember there's going to be harp glisses and things like this going on all over the shop. Now, what are we going to do with this? I need to work out harmonically what I'm going to do here, because we're going to... I could do that. I'm trying to work, I'd like something which goes like this. So that's going to work. something like that's going to work. Let's see if let's try it out in the cello first. Here we go. Might work, might not. Let you know in a minute. That's a big no. That is a really big no. I don't know what I was thinking. So how am I going to make this work? Maybe a straight walk down like that will do it. So I've duplicated the track so I don't have to worry about what's on the about merging. So I'm going to go stop. Let's try that. Oh, that might work. Am I trying to be too clever here? Go down, na, na, na. Maybe I'm just trying to be too clever. Let's do. I think that's honestly, I think that's going to work better. So we can put some inner voices in a minute, but we're going to okay, let's fill out some of these inner voices up here. Now, earlier on, I was playing around. I'm very keen on having so when we hit that A chord, I want it to go ba-da-bam. So we're going to layer two articulations together. We're going to layer this one, which is the multi-tonguing, which goes, and then we're going to layer that with a sustained note, which will continue. Oh, timing wasn't very good. But actually, what I often do with dynamic samples like that is to... that's all right. I would often bounce them to audio, actually, because it's easier. Right, but I'm not going to bother because that sounded all right. Right, here we go. Do we need any? Maybe. Okay, so we're going to use the French horn. Can fill in a little bit of the G major chord there before it goes ba-da-bam on the A. Then we can think what we're going to do with our trombones in a minute. We're going to double the top line with flute, maybe even piccolo. So we're going more like that. So we're going... piccolo, or is it going to be too much? Might be. Only one way to find out. People very rarely say, give me more piccolo. Right, I'm going to use the other woodwind now to fill in part of that chord. So that is the flute is ending up on the A, on the E. So I think the oboe can fill in the third of the chord with a C sharp. And the clarinet can come in with that A there to fill in the root. And the bassoon, a couple of octaves or an octave below that. Actually, I wonder if the bassoon can do something more for me. So it does what the viola was doing before. Okay, that sort of works. Let's go down here now. Maybe we can double what the bassoon's doing with the viola. Except go to the third. Okay. The bass. We've lost our bottom note somehow. We're nearly there. I mean, we're going to add some extra bits and pieces, but we need. I can always just draw it in, couldn't I? What do I need? Is that going to be sufficiently low? Let's have a little look. Okay, let's see what this sounds like now. Then we can add some. Okay, I think the trombones. Ah, here we go, trumpets. Okay, range. Now this, if I was playing it up here, so that C, 2 octaves above middle C, is, to all intents and purposes, the highest you should write, unless you really, unless you know your trumpet player really well, or you're prepared to buy them lots and lots, or her lots and lots and lots of drinks. C, 2 octaves above middle C is a fairly hard limit. Lots of really great players can go miles above that, but don't risk it. Honestly, and it starts to get quite screechy. So you want to, that we're more than happy with. That's a big, brassy, noble part of the range. Play to the strengths of the instrument. Don't try and faff about and make it. Shall we bring in the trombones earlier? I could inversion swap. Trombones sound good with the 5th and a 10th. So I go from a root position to a first inversion. Badlamam, maybe that'll work. Let's try that. So we're going to do the same with our trombones. So I'm going to duplicate that track. I'm going to bring up, have I got multi-tonguing in here? Multi-tonguing, there we go. So this is, I've duplicated the trombone so I can get a, there we go, that's what we're going to hit at the same point as the French horns, and then we're in business. then we continue the same chord on. Right, what we're going to do is go in here, get the pencil out. We're looking for mod wheel because we want to draw a little, we want that to be relatively soft, then we want to draw a kind of bit of a swell in there. Let's see what this sounds like. Tell you what, I might change the articulation there. Let's get this up. Now, what articulation do we actually want? Now, here's the thing. Actually, do you see? I've got the pads I've got here are programmed C -2, C sharp -2, D -2. Because the key switches which all Spitfire instruments default to are, or most often are C -2, which is like 9 foot that way, and that you don't want that. You really don't want that. So I tend to program some other control to do that, which makes life much easier. So what I'm thinking here is maybe we want maybe to use a marcato or something like that. And yeah, I could hear that working already. So it comes in with a little bit more force. Okay, let's now go, I don't want to spend ages doing this, but okay, let's start adding some percussion. So we want nothing to start with. Then when we go to the E, we're just going to have a single note, I think. And then we're going to go to a roll, which is on the G, and then the hit will be on an A as it, so it'll go boom. Okay, let's go back. Add that hit in on the when it goes up, and then it keeps rolling after that, but that's fine, that's all good. Let's now look at some harp glisses. I haven't played with the harp glisses yet, but we're going to need a couple of those. Right, how do I control? Right, we want them going up. And we want so that's all right. So we're in, that's a right, so that's fast, that's slow. So let's see what controller it's mapped to. 16 and 21. That's a bit weird. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, let's put one of these right at the beginning. So we're doing a C major gliss to start with. Here we go. Then we're going to a G. No, an E minor. We'll leave this one. Then we'll go to the G. Render that as audio. Then we can mess with it. Yeah, I quite like that. Let's now go back, duplicate the glisses, have another run. This time I'm going to work with, let's get it into, what, harmonic minor? And a slow one. Yeah, that'll do. Slow E minor. Okay, render that in place, do that. Right, now, too much. Right, we need metal perc. Let's find where a sus symbol is. Right, so here's all the stuff you've got. Oh, we've got a gong in there, we could use that as well. Sus symbol, medium, low. And I want a... Now, here, look. In this new version, you can turn on and off articulations and you can assign... Okay, let's assign... I don't want the brush, so I can turn that one on. So B1 is going to become the swell. So I just drag it up to... Where is it? B1. There we go. So now if I hit B1, it's one of them, which is exactly what I want. So actually I can play this in. Hang on, what's going on here? Ah, it's velocity. Okay, so the speed is controlled by velocity. So it's... Right, are we nearly there yet? There you go. Job done. Look, it's only like 6 or 7 bars, but you see how long it takes? Wow. I'm super, super, super impressed. You know, obviously I've known these libraries for years because I've been working with them in their previous incarnation since they first came out. And it was, you know, a lot of the time my go-to library. But this new version of it, it just adds so much and also at such an incredible price. So look, I hope it's been, I think this is probably quite a long one, isn't it? Sorry about that. Look, I hope you found this useful and interesting, and remember to go and check out our cinematic orchestration course, because if you want to know how to do all this stuff, this is exactly the kind of stuff which we teach in cinematic orchestration, which is, you know, it's a legacy product. We brought it back, and it's an incredible price. You know, 79 quid is it where it is at the moment. Full price is 119. So as I said at the beginning, you can have one of the world's greatest orchestral sample libraries, Spitfire Symphonic Orchestra, which is currently on its introductory price, 20% off, plus cinematic orchestration, both for less than 500 quid. Professional tools at a hobbyist price. What more could you ask? See you soon. Bye-bye.